Welcome back to the Shop Mini RC, everybody. I'm Ken, and today we are looking at a new Torq servo. So this guy here is the MLS-1026. This is the mountless servo for the TRX4M axles, which means we have a lay-down servo that we can use, which is going to be awesome with no mount. It's going to have tons of clearance in it, which is going to be perfect for our chassis here. We've got the Injora Tarantula here, which has got a very narrow chassis. Hoping this is going to be perfect for it. Look at this guy. Oh man, no ears on the sides. So narrow. Oh yeah, look at that. Plenty of room in there. Yeah, buddy. That's going to be awesome. So we can run a lay down servo and we don't have to worry about it banging. Hopefully we can get some good compression out of it. We'll see how we're doing, but it actually fits right through there, but it's got to be straight on. But most chassis, this should be perfect for it, especially a stock chassis. You're going to get tons of clearance with a lay down servo on a stock chassis. That's one of the problems with the TRX4Ms. They have that vertical servo, higher center of gravity. I'm not really a fan of it. I wish they would have just done a regular lay down servo like everybody else out there and just given us a wider chassis, just a little bit wider, or gone with something like this where you can do a mountless servo. This thing is freaking sweet. Now, we're not going to throw this on a set of stock axles, but I'm going to talk to you about those stock axles. We're going to throw it on some Mia stuff here. So let's get into it. So I wanted to go ahead and show you right off the bat what a stock axle looks like compared to like the Mias. You can see these tabs where that servo mount kind of goes for the stock vertical servo. To be able to use this mountless servo, you are going to have to trim these tabs and make it look similar to the Mias. Now, personally, I don't think it matters. I don't think it's a big deal. And honestly, we've actually taken an axle that we have cut these tabs off of and put the stock mount back on, and it still worked. Mind you, it did move forward and backward just a little bit. Had a little bit of movement in there if you forced it, but if you weren't forcing it, it was fine. We had no issues with it. So you could probably revert it if you did. In worst case, you can always use a standard servo mount that like the Mias would use for a lay down servo if this ended up not working for you, or you decided to change things out, or for whatever reason just decided to go back to a servo mount. But yes, you will have to trim these little tabs off, just make them even like this where it's the same level, and that's pretty much all you're going to have to do. That's the only modification. And again, you're going to have to do it on plastic axles for any lay down servo, so it's kind of not a big deal. So this servo, Torq servo, it's based on the 1022 and all the other MLS servos. The specs on this guy are pretty good. You can see here it's a 6, 7.4, and 8.4 volt servo, 14.5 kilograms of torque, and 0.06 seconds at 60 degrees. Those stats are really, really good. It's also all metal gears, obviously, metal housing, all that good stuff. Rear exit wire, which is super nice. That way you're not hitting on your chassis rails. Tons of great redeeming factors to this servo. Now, I know some people out there have chipped gears in this servo. I personally have not actually done that, but I also don't crawl on my bed sheets or crawl and get stuck in a rock and just keep cranking it until, you know, something breaks. I am a little bit more conservative, I guess, with my crawlers. I don't push too hard, but I have gotten these guys stuck and I have cranked on it to get it out. But again, it's a little different when you're crawling on bed sheets and couches and stuff like that, where like it's fabric. I've seen that happen more than once, not just with this servo, but other servos as well. So I think this servo is definitely on par with all the other metal high torque servos out there. Again, we use them a ton. We love them. All the mountless stuff is super awesome. And for the price, you can't go wrong. Even if you ended up breaking a tooth in there, personally, I think it's worth just buying another one. You can also get replacement gear sets. I don't know if I can get a link to it, but I know that these gear sets are similar to the other, I think AGFRC or AFGRC, AGFRC, whatever it is. Their servos, I think the gear set's going to work from that. Again, maybe we'll do a video on that at some point, but again, these guys, for the price, for the features you get with the mountless rear exit wire and all of the specs here, they're fantastic. And like I said, even other brands, whether it's Reefs, NSDRC, AGFRC, you name it. There's other brands out there, and I've broken gears in those things before too. So again, I haven't done it in this yet, actually, but that was early on in my RC career when I was breaking NSD gears or Reefs gears in the high-end, more expensive servos because I just wasn't paying attention. So if you're doing the same thing with this, you're going to break gears, period. Simple as that. But they are metal gear, and they're strong gears. So just keep that in mind. Any servo will break gears if you push it too hard. And especially if it falls. If it falls and has a hard impact from any kind of height where you just like bang real hard, you have a potential to breaking the servo regardless of which servo it is. The other cool thing about this guy is it does come with a drag link. So if you're going to be swapping over, you can't use this servo link here, the drag link, steering link. So they give you a new drag link to go ahead and adjust how this is hooking to your servo. It's adjustable, right? You can put some shims in there if you really wanted to slightly adjust that length just a little bit. Now we're going to be using what came with our Mias here, so we should be fine. But if you have the stock, you will basically just be throwing this guy on here like so and using this link, but you'll have a drag link attached. Also has an aluminum servo horn here, which is super awesome, and then our replacement screw for if we do end up having to use that drag link. Whoa! Which will basically just replace the screw here, and you would screw it in this way and put your drag link in there. Okay, again, pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I don't think I need to show it being installed on a stock servo or a stock axle, so we're just going to go straight to this guy, and yeah, I'm excited. I've already got my rear diff cover screws out. I'm hoping this will fit just fine. We might have to do some trimming, just a little bit. Looks like we leaned forward a little, so I might have to trim off these little nubs. I don't know if you can see them. There's little nubbies here, and that'll help us sit more flush with the back of our diff cover here. Again, these are designed to go in with a stock setup here, and so with the stock setup, you're not going to have to do any sort of modification at all. But if you're using aftermarket axles, just depending on those axles, every axle is different when it comes to an aftermarket axle, you're probably going to have to do a little bit of trimming. We might not even have to actually here. It's looking kind of straight. We'll see. We'll see how we get. Let me dive into it. All right. Fit on there, no problem. I didn't have to do any trimming. It looked like it was going to kind of lean forward at first, but once I actually got the screws in there, everything lined up perfect. Got our drag link in. This is the Mias drag link again, and then our Mias steering link. You can see there's clearance there. If you need to, you can always flip these and just kind of adjust. And this bar is angled, so you can try to point it downward if you need to get more clearance there. But we got plenty of clearance. You can see it's not touching. So that's awesome. We could use the provided drag link if we wanted to, but I figure we'll just use that. Some notes about this drag link: you will have to put in your ball joints here, and you just use some pliers. There is a kind of recessed end or a more open side. Use that side. It's a little bit larger diameter. Push the ball through that side. Okay, and you can use some pliers to kind of help push it through. There's also a flange side on the ball, so don't try to push that flange side through. You'll never get it through, but push it through, and they are actually pretty good right out of the box. You can see that there's plenty of movement in there. They're not like super loose, but they're not tight. If I stick it on a screwdriver here, or driver, you can see it just kind of, they flop, right? If yours for some reason stick and like you have to move them, like physically move them to get them to move, they don't just kind of hang there loose, then that means your ball joint's too tight and you don't want that. There will be binding. You can take some pliers and you can get it nice and square on that ball and link end essentially. Okay, and then you just kind of give it a little squeeze, and try to get it to compress around that ball. Now, I'm not going to do it to these because these already feel really good, but I've had to do it with the Mias links and just in various links throughout any type of hobby RC, whether it's crawler or race car or whatever. Before we put our servo horn on, we're going to have to power this guy up, make sure all of our trims are centered, make sure our servo is centered because it may not be centered. It may have gotten moved at some point, right? And you don't want to put your servo horn on and turn it on and have it lock and break gears right out of the box because it's actually turned a whole bunch. So we're going to wait to do that. It is kind of funny. This comes with all this, the plastic servo horns, and then these are actually servo mount screws. You're supposed to use those to mount the servo, but there's no mounts, so we don't even really need those. But yeah, this is part of the servo manufacturing process, these little baggies. One thing I wish they'd do, I wish Torq, there's like one other company out there that has hex head screws for the servo horn screw. I hate these being Phillips heads. I wish they would just use a hex head. Just like every other screw on these things, these end up usually being like the only screw where there's a Phillips head. So hex head, come on, Torq, give us a Torq. Give us a Torq. It's not really a Torq. It's an Allen key, but whatever. You get my point. Give us a regular screw there. That would be nice. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing powered up and get our screw in. We're using this new secure ESC motor combo. Let's see that guy there. Pretty cool. Got a video kind of going on at the same time as this video, making that. So definitely check that out. I'll throw it over there if you want to check out the new secure brushless 2.3S ESC. Pretty slick. Where's our transmitter? Using the Mias transmitter. This thing is awesome. Also have a video on this. All right, so our steering is centered out. Let's go ahead and plug this guy in. What are we doing here? Get this guy plugged in. Remember, channel 1 for steering, channel 2 for go, because steering is more important than throttle. So steering first, throttle second. And then we'll go ahead and turn this guy on here. Maybe. Oh, there we go. All right. Are we backwards? Maybe we're plugged in backwards. Interesting. The signal wire, so signal is white on here, but this, for some reason, this looks like the signal wire. Yep. I don't know why their wire is backwards here. Usually the white is signal, but for some reason this is our negative, positive. They need to fix that. I don't know why that is like that. Anyway, if it's not working, flip it around. It won't damage anything. You're good. And there we go. You can hear it kind of going. So we should be nice and centered. Make sure our steering link here is centered. Our knuckles are as centered as possible. Then we can drop our horn on. Let's go a little off, maybe this way. No, there's not a perfectly centered tooth, but that's pretty close. Yeah. Nice. All right, we're gonna go ahead and drop our screw on here. We are gonna use a little bit of Loctite because metal into metal and stuff. We don't want this guy falling out. So put a little bit of Loctite on there. Get it nice and snug. Again, give us a hex head screw, please. All right. Yeah, these servos are no joke. We're not even on 8.4 volts. We're only on the, this guy only goes to 6 volts. So on 8.4 volts, it's going to be even faster. Yeah, that's pretty fast. Look at that thing go. Anyway, you get the point. These servos are awesome. All right, let's get this thing installed. And I think we're going to go run it. Now, I know this isn't a build video, but I'm building this rig during the video, and I wanted to show you guys something. So I had to go through and I was dremeling away at this skid plate because there was the links were actually catching on the side of the skid here, and I wanted to just kind of open it up a little bit more so that my links weren't hitting or anything weird going on in there. And so I was dremeling away at it, and then I've got this mess, right? Like you can see this sawdust, not the sawdust, but the brass dust everywhere. And if you blow on it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't go away. So you gotta like wipe it down. But I've been using this cow RC product lately. Cow snot. All right. So it's kind of like slime that your kids would have, that my kids have, except it smells good for one. It's totally biodegradable. You can actually eat it. Probably doesn't taste very good, but it's not going to make you sick. And This stuff is awesome. I clean my mat with it. Look at this. Look at this. You just run it through, and you can run it through all these little like holes, and just like, and it gets everything out of it. Mind you, my mat does have some stains in it, but that's not the point. This stuff is freaking awesome. And watch this. So look at this chassis. It's even on the motor, which is not ideal. So you really don't want to blow, but look. I use it on my mini Zs mostly. So we race and they get tons of carpet dust in them and stuff. And so I use this stuff to clean them up, and it gets it better than like just blowing it off. We use compressed air to blow them off, but even then, like, it doesn't get it all, and you can't get in all the nooks and crannies. Look at the drive shaft. Watch this. Like, this stuff, I didn't know I needed this until I started using it, right? Like, it's $5, $6, something like that for a whole jar. I'll show you here in a second once I'm done cleaning this. But like, what the heck? This stuff is so good. You can just get it down in there, and it gets it. Like, it's in all the little cracks, all the little nooks and crannies. It doesn't like stick on things. So like this motor, I got to clean off the motor now because I got stuff on there. And just throw it on there. Like, if it is you can see it's kind of sticking to my fingers. That's like the only thing it sticks to. Part of it's because we need to let it dry out a little more. Depending on your humidity and altitude, look at that servo. Look at that, it's full of dust. Depending on your humidity and your altitude and stuff, you sometimes need to let it dry or add just a little bit of water to it. But look at this. Like, I can get it in the shock springs, the servo down in there. Look at all that crap in there. I can't even get to it. So let's see if we can maybe drop this guy in there. Just kind of, these are driver here. Let go. Look at it. Clean. So good. I know. All of a sudden it's an ad for cow snot, but this stuff is no joke. It's awesome. So good. So yeah, now all of our brass dust is no longer a mess everywhere. Look how clean it looks. So good. That's scratches, but yeah, like, so good, guys. So good. Let me show you. Boom. I didn't realize how much I would use this stuff, and I use it a lot. And look, it's like barely used. You don't need it. You don't need that much. You just need a little bit, and you can use it for quite a while, at least until it dries out or until it's black. When I use the Mini Zs, I cleaned, like, the first night I had this stuff, I cleaned like 6 people's cars, and it was completely black, but it was still cleaning. It was amazing. So yeah, like $6, $7. I don't know, whatever. Next time you order cow RC stuff, make sure you add this to your cart, because if you haven't used it, you're missing out, guys. It's so easy to use and so good. And like I said, it was something that I didn't think I would like. I was like, I don't know. We'll try it. I've been hearing about it. I don't know if I'll use it that much. I use it all the dang time. Like I said, your little nooks and crannies here. There's a screw in there, but hey, we'll get it out. Put our screw over here. But look, now all the dirt in there. Gone, clean, more screws in here. Let's get those guys out. And look, now it's all clean. I've tried blowing, and when I blow, it just blows stuff everywhere. You know, it's such a pain in the butt to clean these mats off. And yeah, this stuff is so cool. So cool. Anyway, back to Torq servos, guys. We're looking like we're going to fit real nice in there. Let me get this put back in there and we'll come back. Oh, don't put the used stuff back in there because you'll just contaminate it. So it's kind of like use it, throw it away. Again, for the price. And again, I've used it a ton. I just grab little tiny bits out when I need it. Love it. And there we have it. Links are a little better. We're still not completely bottoming out our shocks because our links bottom out first. That's just kind of the nature of the TRX skid plate. You can see they're hitting right there, but at least they're not hitting on the skid. They were hitting on the skid before. So we got plenty of space in the skid now, so I'm not worried about that. And then look at our servo. Look at that. All kinds of space in the servo. Yeah, buddy. And again, we're bottoming out right as our drag link starts to touch the chassis, but still have full articulation. Yeah, these shocks are so good too. These Next Racing shocks are amazing. If you haven't checked them out, check out this video over here. I go deep. I take them completely apart. True reservoir shocks. The only ones in the world like that, where they've got full bypass valve there. They're amazing. They're super cool and worth looking at that video just to see how they're built. Again, my favorite shocks, hands down, Next Racing shocks. They may even make them for the SEX24, so even smaller with the true reservoir, working reservoirs. Now, do you really need reservoirs in rock crawling? I don't know. Probably not. They're more for go fast stuff because it's supposed to help keep the air or the oil cooled a little bit more. But you can adjust and tune them here, which is really nice. So while you're out on the rocks, you can just kind of get a little bit more stiffness by tightening this guy down in, and it'll compress it and give you just kind of a little bit more, almost like thicker, like you're running a more dampened, thicker oil in there. But yeah, either way, just smooth as butter. Best shocks I've ever used. Anyway, back to the Torq. Let's go ahead and I'm going to finish this buggy up and we're going to go drive it. So yeah. So I guess I'll just, I'll see you on the rocks, guys.
Creeping up the ledge like 8 legs on stone. The red tarantula crawling on its throne. Torq servo twisting, rocks don't stand a chance. Power and vision like a venomous stance. Security at sea, locked in control. Bracelets are pounding, torque in the soul. Up the crack through the dust, never stall. These legs digging, we climbing it all. Tarantula, crawling high, crawling slow. Over rock ridges where no one else can go. Tarantula, power locked, never fall. Climbing to the top, we conquer it all. Claws in the canyon, power to the ground. Every line we choose, a new line is found. Brushless thunder, strike of the beast. Servo on the mountain, rocks for a face. Servo charge, left, right, long, ESC birds. Never gonna stop, like a spider on stone. An arachnid crawl, call it rocks home, and it conquers all. Tarantula, crawling high.
Well, there we have it, ladies and gents. That Torq Servo 1026 seems good. I love how much clearance we get. It's got plenty of power, plenty of speed. It's a great servo. Love it on all the other rigs that we've got, all the other different mountless servos for the different platforms, CR18, SEX24, FX118, the Red Cat, you name it. The platform's got one. I think the Traxxas was the last one of all the major platforms. So now we've pretty much got them for all of them, which is awesome. I love that it comes with the aluminum servo horn and the drag link if you need that drag link, and because you're using the stock setup. Definitely worth looking at, especially if you're trying to get a laydown and you need that clearance. It's a fantastic servo, guys. It's been great. Huge shout out to everybody for watching. Thank you guys for clicking that subscribe button. If you're a subscriber, if you're not, it's just a click, but it means the world to me. So if you want to see more awesome stuff, definitely hit that subscribe. And another huge shout out to all of our channel members. All these guys and gals here get to see videos early before anybody else without ads. They also get priority comment replies. I see their comments first. Depending on the level, there's other perks and benefits. So definitely check that out if you're interested in helping support the channel. It's a huge help for us, and we really appreciate all of the channel members. They also get a special chat in our Discord. So if you're into Discord, definitely join that. That's free. Anybody can join the Discord. It's down in the description below. We talk about all kinds of RC stuff, big, small, racing, crawling, drifting, bashing, you name it. It's a conversation happening in there. People like to show off their rigs, ask questions, get help, get, opinions and stuff. So definitely join the Discord if you like to converse about RC cars. All right, guys. I hope you had a great time. I hope you learned something with this. Yeah, definitely get out there and build something awesome. Build yourself a car, build a course, build a community. Those things keep the hobby going, and then smash it, crash it, and bash it. But don't break the expensive parts. Also, use our coupon code to pick up that Torq Servo at Direct RC. So that'll be down in the description as well. Peace. Oh, and since you made it all the way to the end, let us know by putting so much torque down in the comments.